On the March 29th edition of Newswatch 18, more than 100 ISU students joined other students from the 3 Regents schools at the state capitol.
The VISHA Executive Board tries their hand at a new tournament idea.
An Ames native made a big announcement today.
And after some potential messy weather tonight, we're talking warmer weather and sunshine. How warm and how long? Find out more tonight on Newswatch 18.
This is Newswatch 18.
Milwaukee.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the March 29th edition of Newswatch 18. I'm Natalie Froisted.
And I'm Alyssa Weiss. Students had the chance today to head to Des Moines and lobby a senator.
The ISU ambassadors led a group of ISU students to the Capitol for Regents Day 2012. David Geiger and Andrew Schneider have more.
Iowa State, UNI, and the University of Iowa students visited the state capitol to have their voices heard on Regents Day.
I think Regents Day is really important because it gives students an opportunity to communicate their experiences as students to legislatures.
And tell them about your aspirations and tell them what you need while you're on campus to achieve your goals and aspirations.
Students set up booths and talked with Iowan legislators about the Regents University budget.
This year, I see Iowa State has some really great displays of the research that they've been doing. There's a lot of enthusiasm. This year, I know our student ambassadors put together a bill that they were working on.
Some students believe there's often a divide between the chambers in Des Moines and what students want.
There's kind of this disconnect between students and decision makers.
State Representative Wessel Krischel said it's important to have this chance to talk with students.
You know, it's kind of hard to make your impact and get an opportunity to meet them, but this is an opportunity that you can't find a better one.
I'm David Geiger with Andrew Schneider for Newswatch 18.
ISU ambassadors also wrote a bill and presented it to the legislature for the first time in their history.
After launching a campaign against misinformation of pink slime yesterday, Governor Terry Branstad toured the Beef Products Inc. plant in Pella, Iowa, and South Sioux City, Nebraska today. Branstad is encouraging Iowa schools to continue using pink slime after the risks of the ingredient were put on social media sites. Branstad says the pink slime is a safe, low-fat product, and the negative press has caused the closing of 3 Iowa meat plants and affected 650 jobs throughout the Midwest.
Ames residents will have the chance to vote on a school bond issue on Tuesday. The $55 million bond referendum will improve Ames elementary schools by renovating them. The bond also includes a plan for construction of a new elementary school on Miller Avenue in Ames. The bond was created because of lack of security and safety features to protect students and staff.
Iowa State University will be hosting the State Science and Technology Fair this Friday and Saturday, March 30th and 31st. A record number of 620 students from around the state will be sharing their projects in both Hilton Coliseum and the second floor of the Sheeman Building. Students will be competing for around $75,000 in awards, including scholarships and special trips. The fair is open to the public noon to 5 on Friday and 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday.
This year, the VISHA Tournaments Committee has organized more events than ever before. The tournaments are underway as 5-on-5 basketball and 3-point shooting contests started at State Gym and Lead Rec Center. Last night, the VISHA Exec Board experimented with a new tournament event set for April 19th at the State Pool. Cost to register is $10 per team. For a full list of VISHA tournaments, visit visha.iastate.edu and click on Tournaments. So, Matt, what's going on in the world of Cyclone sports?
Well, Ames native Harrison Barnes made a big announcement today. I'll let you know what the announcement was after a break. Stay tuned to Newswatch 18. Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Matt Van Winkle with sports. Ames native Harrison Barnes has decided to enter the NBA draft. The University of North Carolina announced today that Barnes and his teammates Kendall Marshall and John Henson will also leave school early and declare for the NBA draft. The 6'8" sophomore will forego his junior season and is projected to be a top pick in this year's draft. Barnes won 2 state championships at Ames High School and reached the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament both years at UNC. Barnes averaged about 17 points per game and 5 rebounds this season and was an all-first team All-ACC selection. The NBA draft is set for June 28th. And the Iowa State softball team ended its 4-game losing streak yesterday, shutting out Drake 1-0. Cyclone pitcher Taylor Smith threw a complete game shutout against the Bulldogs. The sophomore allowed only 3 hits and had 2 strikeouts. Iowa State's only run came in the 4th inning when Lexi Slater doubled and Erica Miller doubled to left to score Slater. Tori Torrescano doubled in the 6th inning, but the Cyclones were unable to drive her in. The Cyclones improved to 10-19 overall. The Cyclones will try to earn their first Big 12 win as they take on Texas Tech in Lubbock tomorrow. And the ISU football team is more than a week into spring practices, and one of the biggest stories so far has been injuries. Senior linebacker Jake Knott is recovering from a shoulder injury, which he had surgery on after the Pinstripe Bowl. Knott says he is almost back to full strength.
I could be at going into the season, and throughout the season I had something here or there, and I finally feel like this is going to be the year that I've been really taken care of, made sure I'm going to be 100% healthy, and the type of workouts I'm doing right now are just going to make sure I'm by far the strongest and fastest I've ever been.
The first team All Big 12 honoree last year and was the Cyclones' leading tackler with 115 on the season. Knott will not participate in any spring practices, but says he has been helping coach the younger players from the sidelines while trying to stay healthy. And the New Orleans Saints may ask former NFL coach Bill Parcells to be the team's interim head coach during Sean Payton's year-long suspension. Payton was an assistant under Parcells with the Cowboys and considered Parcells his mentor. Saints owner Mickey Loomis will have the final decision of who will be the interim coach, but Parcells says he would be a hypocrite not to consider the job. Payton was suspended for the entire 2012 season for his involvement in the team's bounty program. Payton can appeal the suspension if he chooses to, which may result in a less severe penalty. And that's all I've got for sports. Andrew, how's the weather looking for the rest of the week?
Well, tonight it doesn't look like it's going to be so good, but afterwards we might have some of the best weather we've seen all year. I'll have your details and your forecast coming up next. This is Newswatch 18. Welcome back to Newswatch 18. I'm Andrew Schneider with your Ames, Iowa forecast for your weekend. And tonight it might be a little bit tricky out there, but this weekend it might be some, as I said before the break, the best weather we've seen this year so far. Right now in Ames, it's about 66. We've actually seen that drop a little bit in the past couple of hours or so. Still that nice wind from the north at 6 to 8 miles an hour. We have seen also some cloud cover roll in, and that, of course, is an indication of what we might see later tonight through the overnight hours. Throughout the state of Iowa, Storm Lake 67 up in the northwest part of the state. There is that cold front moving in from the northwest to the southeast. 66 degrees in Ames, 64 Waterloo, and 69 in southeast Iowa in Pella. And those temperatures will continue to drop. Today we did see temperatures in the 70s across the state, except for those of you up in the Sioux City area where we saw some upper 60s. So fabulous weather for this time of year. And we'll see that continuing this weekend after tonight. And that's this what this next graphic details. We got that mild few days coming up ahead. There's that cold front I was talking about. There's a warm front off to the west that will actually blow in on Saturday, which will give us some warmer temperatures. Now tonight, this graphic is a little misleading. It's going to be mostly clear, mostly cloudy. We're going to see it kind of exchange as some showers and thunderstorms roll into the area. We'll see those likely after midnight, about an 80% chance according to the Weather Service. We've got that east-northeast wind at 6 to 8 miles an hour. We'll see a low down to 42. Could get a little bit lower if we get some of that rainfall that we are expecting, of course. Tomorrow we have a chance of thunderstorms rolling in the morning. We won't see it after the noon hour, of course. We're going to see those winds pick up as that warm front moves in the afternoon. We got a high of 67 degrees. And we're going to kind of move on now in the show here and look at your extended forecast. Thursday we had 67 degrees, and that was the high today. We didn't see any of that rainfall we predicted early in the week. That's going to come later tonight. For your Friday, it's going to be excellent out. Just as we said, it's going to be near 70 degrees with that wind moving in from the southeast at about 15 miles an hour. And looking at your weekend, it's absolutely gorgeous. We might even see 80s peak in on Sunday. Saturday, 75 degrees. On Sunday, 79. And for your Monday, we might see that drop down yet. Some of the models aren't sure yet what we're going to see after Sunday. But we're going to see those lows in the 50s as well. So we're going to go ahead and toss it now back to the desk. Thank you for listening to Newswatch Weather.
Thanks, Andrew. Dog owners, listen up. Matt Van Winkle and Julie Farrell have the perfect place to take your four-legged friend this spring.
Winter is gone and spring is upon us. If you're a dog owner and looking for something to do outside with your furry friend, why not try the Ames Dog Park? Located just off South Duff, the Ames Dog Park has two sectioned-off areas. There's a 2-acre fenced-off area for small dogs under 25 pounds and an 8-acre space for bigger dogs. Kevin Teskey makes bringing his dog to the park a family outing.
It's an awesome opportunity. It's a place for the kids to run after the dog, and for our dog, she gets to meet other dogs out here, and that's huge for her. She gets a little crazy right at first, but then after she's had a few minutes to get used to it, she really just is excited to have other dogs to sniff and run and play after.
The park is open year-round to Ames residents and non-residents. Owners must obtain passes for their dogs and provide an updated rabies vaccination certificate at the Ames City Hall. Dogs are allowed to roam free without being on a leash, but owners are asked to keep an eye on their four-legged friends at all times for the safety of others. Jay Voss brings his 2 dogs to the park, rain or shine.
I mean, they pretty much get along with all the other dogs out here, but they like to get out and run, and it's just a good place for them to get out and have fun, you know. Yeah, we come out as often as we can all year long.
Teskey says it's fun to watch the dogs interact with one another.
It's funny to watch their personalities, actually, the dogs. It's kind of like kids.
For Julie Farrell, I'm Matt Van Winkle, ISU TV.
Annual passes for Ames residents are $30 for one dog and $15 for each additional dog. Daily and weekly passes are also available at City Hall. And that's all we have for this edition of Newswatch 18. Join us Monday night at 8 for more news, weather, and sports.
Have a great night.